Very exciting as I just jump in there.
Yeah.
Phoenix Awakened podcasts of Alison and Jason.
We're going to start off with Jason kicking it off on a topic about carrying people's energy, or just carrying people on an energetic, emotional, mental, that kind of level.
Above.
Or the above.
Yep.
Physically, it's a little bit hard because all of a sudden you'll start seeing people walking around actually literally carrying people on the street as they're walking. That doesn't actually happen here.
Yeah, that's not far-fetched because that's what's happening energetically.
That's true but I was actually...
That's a good visual.
But I was actually going to say, like, emotional blind, I was going to put physical in, but it's actually not happening on a physical level. But it is a good visual for people to understand what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the reason this come up for me was because when I do my healing work, everybody got the gist that I'm a healer. I will have people come under the table and I'm doing what we call the energetics. I call also the patterns of the person.
Yeah.
Because there's different patterns and layers and stuff like that we all have. And there's been a lot of cases where I've done a healing and I'm like, oh, what's going on? You've got your dad? Is your dad going through some stuff? Is he going through some hardship, or is he not well and stuff like that? And a lot of time they go, he's going through this, he's going through that. And I'm like, well, you're carrying him. You're energetically on levels physically as well, because when you carry such a big thing, like say if your parent is sick and you're trying to help out, not just do things for them physically, but energetically, emotionally, what you said before, and even spiritually, trying to hold them, carry them, so that's easy for them to maybe heal. But the problem with that is, over a long extended period of time, sometimes you can take on that illness as well. And sometimes it will deplete you, because if you're carrying them and they're also taking energy from you because you're carrying them, because you care and you love them, you will get sick and burnt out as well. So this is the thing that I want to talk about today. Be really mindful of, love our families and our friends, but be mindful of how much carrying you want to do, especially when they're not well, they're not doing good, because that's going to start breaking down your energetics and your physical body on many, many levels. And you mightn't know that or feel that, and that's why we want to talk about this today, just to let everybody know that on many levels, this is playing out 100%. So is there anything that you want to add to that?
I've gone through experiences of, carrying people, and sometimes you can't help but want to help them, and sometimes you don't realize that you're actually carrying them at the same time as well, because you feel like you have to. You feel like you're obligated to actually help them out. I'm not saying don't help out your family members, but like you said, it comes to a point where you need to actually decide and choose how much you're going to give yourself to the situation. Yeah,
are you going to allow yourself to be totally 1,000%, 1,000% consumed by it? Which is, I'm saying this and you might be all thinking, well, that's what you need to do, but we need to be mindful that it's very taxing on us.
Okay, well, can we break it down more so for people to actually understand what Jason is actually trying to say? And it may come across as if he's saying don't care or don't help or anything along those lines, but what we're actually talking about is more on an energy point of view, based on your energy and your energy, my energy, like your own individual energy. There's caring for people, but then there's also caring. I know it's going to sound really crazy, but there's caring for people, but then there's also caring too much for people, and sometimes
or carrying unconsciously. On a level, I think we know that we're carrying them.
Oh, okay. I've got a really... The only way I can explain it is what I go through. Because I'm an empath, a lot of the time what I would do, which I'm actually working on myself now, is if someone is going through something, whether it's family, friends, you, or anything along those lines, I would actually take that on board, because I don't want that person to have to go through it.
And you'll try to clear that within yourself, or transmute that within yourself.
Exactly. That's probably the best way that I can explain it. And sometimes what can happen is that if you do it too many times, it can actually burn you out on an energetic level, because now all of a sudden your people are coming to you because they probably know on an energy level that they can talk to you. You're going to listen to them, and you're actually going to take their sadness so to speak.
Yeah, they take their sadness, transmute their sadness.
And the thing is, they might have to actually do that themselves.
So you can lend an ear and help and support,
Yeah.
but not to a point where you're actually doing all the work for them energetically.
And I think that's probably what you're trying to say is, yes, you can help out your family, but sometimes your family on an energy level has to go through the experience so that they can actually have the soul learning for themselves. And what we're talking about, if people are listening to this and don't quite understand what we're talking about, it might sound like we're actually being really mean.
Possibly. I guess I'll go back to that client I was talking about at the start. So I had a client on the table and I could see her father's energy on her energetically. And I just said to her, is your father sick? She's like, yeah, my father's not well. He's going to die. And I said, okay, that's not good. It's sad. And you could see it in her face and her body and her energetics. She was doing everything in her power to pretty much save him. And I said to her, well, this is burning you out. This is you by carrying, because she wasn't well as well. I said, this is going to make you sicker and burn you out. She said, I don't care. If I have to die for him, I will. And I'm like, but maybe he's going through this because it's a particular learning or lesson, or he needs to work through stuff, because all that sickness and illness is usually stuff that we need to heal or clear or be conscious of, or whatever it is. It's something that we need to transmute or understand on levels, and that can go back to when you were a child and all that sort of thing. But I said, look, I can give it back to him. It's not like you don't care or you don't love him. It's just like you need a break from holding what I call
two patterns, pretty much.
Yeah, trying to hold herself and trying to hold her father's pattern, trying to clear that, because she's a healer as well.
Yeah.
So she should know better. But when you love somebody that much, you want to do everything in your power to help them. And I said, we can give it back. And it's not like he's going to have to do maybe a little bit of work on himself. And we went through it and everything. She said, no, I want to keep it, because I'm getting, as I'm talking about that, she didn't want him to pass over, because I feel like he was ready to pass over as well. And that's what we do on a level as well. We don't want people that we love so much to pass over. So it's more becomes our need. So that comes in the mix as well, because we can hold our family members here in spirit. So I said, I totally respect and honour what you decide. That's fine. But I just need to let you know that it's going to make you worse and sicker. And she ended up having so much more things going on, more operations and stuff like that. But I had trouble because I was in two minds. I knew where she was coming from, and I totally respect and honour that. But at the same time, she was doing herself an injustice as well.
So from the healer point of view, you're going, look, this is what's happening, and you want to help, because you're like her, she wanted to help her dad. So your healer wanted to help her as well. From the other perspective, you're like, well, look, this is your free will. This is your choice. You can choose to keep it or give it back, kind of thing. And maybe that I'm just getting, we don't know if maybe that was her understanding of having to carry him.
Yeah, I feel like it was just something that we do automatically without thinking about it. We just do it because we love our, family or friends or so much that we don't want them to be sick or ill. We want to do everything in our power, especially being a healer. You want to do everything you can to help somebody and fix them. Like, healers are Mr. and Mrs. Fix-Its. We talked to somebody today about that. This person, wants to help everyone, which is really great and beautiful. But we have to be mindful and set some boundaries. It's not going to do us any good, because as a healer, we were taught this. You're no good to anyone if you're done.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're burnt out and you've taken on too much and you whatever, you're going to be no good to anyone, including yourself.
But that relays back to everyone, because if, for example, you're a parent, you're no good to your family if you cannot take care of yourself. If you are in a relationship, you're no good to your partner if you cannot take care of yourself. How can you take care of your partner or your family if you can't take care of yourself first?
And that's another thing, that's an interesting topic you bring up, because a lot of people, especially parents, especially mums, they will do anything and everything for their children, and even carry their children's energies and patterns, and they can't work out why they're burnt out. And that's another thing as well. So it's a really fine line.
It's an extremely fine line, because it comes down to, on a human level, it comes down to, well, you don't love your family.
Yeah, you need to sacrifice everything that you are, even down to your health. So in a way, do you become a martyr?
That's a good point.
Do you,
Possibly, maybe the family needs a martyr. I don't know. Maybe,
but that's expected from society as well. That's
It
what
is,
you do
yeah.
if you go to the like children, for say, not even parents, but your children. You do anything and everything for them.
So it's a very fine line what we're talking about. It is an extremely fine line because on one hand of it, you got to look after yourself. On the other hand, you also want to take care of your family and friends and everything. Because
that's a balancing act, really.
It is, again, it all comes back down to balancing, because one side of it is like if we go too much of taking care of ourselves, we end up being very disconnected from everyone. On the other hand, if we invest all our energy in taking care of others, we become disconnected from ourselves, really.
Because we do that with each other a lot. When Alison's down, I try to carry you. And when I'm down, you know, she tries to carry me and she's like, I'm literally carrying at the moment. It's like, well, you can't do that because I look at it and it's like, it's not doing her any good.
But
like, this is my stuff.
It's what we do.
Exactly.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
No, I'll take that back. It's not unfortunate. It's something we do because we care about each other. But what we do, carry each other to the point where it's like I become you or you become me. That's the difference. We only carry each other when we're a little bit down, because with us especially, it doesn't take us very long. It seems like a long time when we're in the process of it, but it doesn't take us very long to build back up again. You know, and then we're back on, you know, what we're doing and stuff like that. What I think where we're coming from is from people or family members that literally don't know how to build themselves back up again. And therefore, you know, maybe the children or the spouses or something feel obligated.
Yeah, of course you do.
To carry them.
And I'm getting that
all the way.
Yeah. And what I'm getting is we spread ourselves so thin.
Yeah.
Because if you've got a family, you've got the husband or the wife, and you've got the kids, and you've got the parents and the grandparents, and you've got your job, and you've got this. So you spread yourself out like a real thin layer of butter.
Yeah.
Eventually, you're gonna burn out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you're
melt
no good.
right off.
Yeah.
Put it in the toaster, it's all gone.
You won't even see the butter. Where's my butter gone?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's becoming a little bit more conscious of what's happening within us, and yes, giving and sharing and doing everything you can, but also, as you said before, taking some time out if you can.
Did I actually say that? Because I was just thinking that.
Yeah, well, we're pretty good at mental telepathy with each other, aren't we?
Because I literally just thought that.
I get a bit cheeky sometimes.
Because I was actually going to say that people need to take out time, and they need to set boundaries to take out time for themselves. And as I was thinking that, you literally just said that. And I'm thinking, no, I don't think we actually spoke about it.
Do you realise we do this all the time?
What?
We're always thinking, you know, I tap into your thoughts and you tap into mine.
Yeah, because because we live with each other. We live together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that, but it sometimes it's just really amazes me. Yeah, it just really amazes me every time it happens.
And what he's going, oh, so, okay, carrying each other's pattern all the time, are you? We try not to, because I always say to Alison, look, you don't just let me just deal with my stuff. Listen and hear me, bitch. But
yeah, and I'm the same. It's like,
too.
you know, I am learning to carry my own pattern, my own weight, and learning to transmute and stuff like. And there are times when I do actually need your help. There are times.
Yeah, well, vice versa.
But I am learning more that I need to actually carry myself and not have someone else carry me. And that also comes back down to family as well, because sometimes we can learn that from family members too.
Yeah, everything be done for you and
yeah, exactly.
to you.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
not take responsibility of your own stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Because sometimes you don't want to take responsibility. You'll just pass it on to someone else to take that responsibility. So that can actually also be a family generational thing too.
Yeah. What's coming to mind again is carrying the planet.
Oh, yeah.
And I understand this really well because in my young days as a healer, I believed I came in to save the planet and save humanity.
Yeah, I think that was where you kind of got misled a little.
Do you think? So I did. I believe that I came here to do a lot of work with helping raising the vibration of the planet. And that was my mission here, to do that. And over the years, I just realized I actually don't want to do that. I need people, all of us, to need to save ourselves. Because we go to, you know, the archangels, the angels, Jesus, God, Muhammad, like everybody like has their, you're thinking, what's he talking about now? But the saviors.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
And now it's the galactic arena. Oh, these aliens going to come down and save the day. Guarantee you, if they ever do come down and save the day, there's a massive agenda that they want in return, or a massive trade that they want. So we've talked about this before, but it's like us as a species, we've given our power away so much. We need to learn not to do that as well. We need to take our power back and be conscious of working on somehow to help ourselves and fix ourselves, not always needing to go out there to have somebody else save us, which comes down to, does it come down to a bit of laziness? It's just easier to, let the aliens come down.
I don't think it
fix
comes
us.
down to laziness. I think it comes down...
Because we've got no power.
I think
we're
it comes down
powerless.
to what's easy.
Yeah,
'Cause
the road less travelled.
Yeah, exactly. What is the easier path to take? Because we also watched a video on the brain wants what is easy. If something seems too difficult, it's like, oh, I've got to fix myself again. Is it easier just to go to someone? I mean, that's why people go to doctors all the time.
Yeah. And there is a need for doctors.
Oh, absolutely.
There is a need for healers.
Absolutely.
There is a need for that because we do need that support.
Absolutely. It's not saying take away the support. It's just saying sometimes you might need to fix yourself.
Yeah, or work on the tools, gain tools and knowledge to be able to help yourself.
Oh, here's a difference. Doctors are meant to help on a physical level. Surgery, absolutely. Though, real surgery stuff, even down a cold, however, you can work out on yourself. You can work out yourself. But like serious stuff, like surgery and things along, like really bad illnesses. Yes, doctors. On another level, on the energetic level, like, I don't know, what's probably one of the like really bad energy things? Energy harvesting that a healer can help with, or shifting through.
Yeah, like, healers are here to help shift, and there's usually a bit of counselling or a bit of support with chatting about what's going on and what the person, because I try to give people some tools and understanding. We have a bit of a chat. I will do my clearing to help them, and they go, oh, I feel a lot lighter, I feel a lot better, and then that will help support them moving forward or making the right decision as well. But I can't always, my energy, because my training or my understanding is I'm just facilitating the energy. I'm not here to save or rescue.
Your intention as a healer, I'm trying to break it down again even more. Your intention as a healer is you want to see people at least 2 to 3 times, because your intention as a healer is that you want them to be able to go away feeling better, healed, to a point where they can actually work on themselves, and they may not need to come back to you unless it gets to a point where they actually don't know how to move on.
Yeah.
Not repeatedly come back to you because they're not actually helping themselves.
Yeah, on a level, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm here to activate the healer within that person.
Yeah.
It's actually the person that can fix themselves.
Yeah.
It's just up to me to help maybe awaken it or shift some stuff out the way or remove or clear some stuff so they can step more into that personal power of self to do what they need to do for self. You know what I mean? Like you go to a person to service your car. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's exactly it. So there are some things that you do need to go and get people specialists in their trade to
of course.
help you do.
Yeah.
But there are some other certain things that you might not need them.
Yeah,
and
of
you've got to
course.
try and figure out for yourself.
Yeah. I feel that sorry to cut you off. I
No,
feel like
sorry.
we expect always as a collective to be saved.
Because that is what is being programmed into society.
Yeah, and I feel like
That's the
we
game.
need to look at moving out of that a lot more.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the game is to program people to go outside of themselves so that they can give their power away to something else, whether it's physical, non-physical, whatever it is. Therefore, showing society, showing humanity that they actually are not powerful beings and everything else is bigger than them. And that is actually not true at all.
Yeah, and that stems back to when you're holding and taking on, your parents or your children's patterns, if they're ill or whatever, teaching your kids to, learn to give them certain tools so they grow up not needing so much to be
But
saved.
that's all generational stuff too, because each generation has their own way of doing stuff. Parents' generation, their parents' generation.
Our generation before, like our parents and their parents, it's the program is to be saved and rescued. Because
Yeah.
religion was really big in the day.
Exactly.
Things are, it's still sort of that way.
It's still big.
But things, I feel, are shifting bit by bit.
Yeah.
Because we all just want to be, at the end of the day, we all want to be saved.
Everyone just wants to be in a safe place, really. We all just want to be in a safe place, and everyone deserves to be in a safe place. However, sometimes you might have to create that safe place for yourself. And that's probably what we all need to understand, is that we actually have to create that safe place. No one is actually going to come in, swoop in and try and save you.
And if they do, there's a trade or an agenda playing out.
Yeah, possibly. Although I have learned something new, that when you are in, and I'm going to keep repeating this until it sinks in, that when you're in oneness with everything, and this comes back to actually on an energetic level, sometimes it can actually be physical as well. But when you're in oneness with everything, there is no trade.
Because you have everything within.
Exactly. You know, you have everything within. When you're in oneness, you know, I'm in oneness with my farmer self, hence why I'm actually growing strawberries and sunflowers.
So true.
You know, and then when you feel separated, maybe that's when the trade comes in, because you feel like you are separate. You know, if I was separate from strawberries and feel like I can't actually grow them myself, I would actually go and purchase it. So that's trade. That also can happen on an energetic level as well. If you feel like you're separate from your heart space, there might be something out there that says that they can trade you something to help you with your heart space. But then what are you trading in return? So that kind of thing. But going back to carrying other people's energy, the collective, because we kind of gone off topic.
But that's what we do best here.
A little. We've kind of gone off topic here. Especially going back to carrying the collective. Again, I believe that, you know, sometimes people feel like that they have no choice. Maybe that came along with you. You felt like you were on a mission, so you felt like you had to, and you had no choice to do it.
Yeah, it was,
until you realise that that's actually not the truth at all.
Yeah, well, I worked out over the years as I've matured and grown, become more self-realised. Everybody needs to save themselves, and especially now than ever before. You know, we're now in 2023. We need to start to becoming more conscious of learning to save ourselves more than not. Everybody needs to save themselves. Not one person is going to be able to come and save the collective.
So pretty much what we're saying is, because sometimes what we can, when I listen to us talk, I feel like sometimes it sounds really harsh. So what we're actually trying to say is that we all need to save ourselves. Yes, help others.
Yeah.
You know, don't think, you know, we're saying just look after yourself.
No.
Help others if you feel like you can help someone. But what I feel like we're talking about, or what I'm getting from it, is on an emotional standpoint, in energy standpoint, if you can, work through your own stuff first.
If you can, and if not, find tools or knowledge or wisdom to help support that, or even talking to somebody. Yeah,
exactly. And I think that's what it is. If you can first see if you can actually help yourself first, and get to a level where maybe you get to a level where you feel like, you know what, I can't seem to shift it. I need now to go and speak to a counsellor or something along those lines. And I think that's what we're trying to say, is try and help yourself first.
You brought a really good thing up. Go and see a counsellor. The counsellor might see 10 people a day, or a psychologist. That counsellor, by right, should not take on all her clients and carry them for the next until they're fixed.
Exactly.
She gives her support and love, and they have a chat. She gives her perception and stuff, or his perception, and the person walks away feeling better, or like, oh, that was great. But they don't like, you know, I'm going to carry you, and I carry your pattern, your energies and your sadness and your depression, and I'm going to carry them with me until you're better.
No, because the counsellor, if the counsellor is really probably aware of the energy, they'd be like, you know what, here's my advice. Thank you for coming. I hope everything works out.
And it helps.
On a level. Okay, see you later. Next client.
Yeah.
And they completely sever ties, sever connection to that previous client. Because if they're carrying that previous client, they might not be able to help the next client that comes through.
Yeah, imagine doing that day in, day out.
Yeah.
And you take on everybody's pattern, energy, all their stuff, and you're carrying that.
And sometimes we can't help it, because sometimes we feel like, you know, I feel for that person, but we've got to be really mindful about, you know, taking that emotion and trying to transmute it for them. But still, you know, if if you can help them smile, then that is
Make them laugh.
make them laugh. That is actually a way, without taking it on, you're actually helping them transmute it, really.
And help them empower themselves by giving them tools, or saying some, saying, look, you are a powerful being. You can get through this. You know?
Or something as simple. Yeah, something as simple as like, you can get through this. Or, here, let's put on some music and let's dance. And, something to lift the vibration that they're able to actually get themselves out of. You're not actually taking it on, but you're actually helping them to shift it. Yeah.
I can give a little tool to help people do this.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So what I do with me, so if I've been talking to, let's say, my mum, and she's doing it tough, and I can feel myself carrying her because I want to help her and I want to transmute and everything for her, and it's just too much. I can't do it. It's just like, it's too heavy. I'm too bogged down. So what I do is I say the person's name, and then I say I choose. I love them, and I, all that, and I say I now choose to give back their pattern, their energy back to them, and then I count it back. So I will go, I give this pattern back to this person, their name, and I count it back from 10, 9, and I say the right place, right location, right frequency, color and sound, and I go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and just visualize them, their energy and their pattern going back to them.
Yeah, that made a shift anyway.
And we've done that a lot.
Yeah.
And I do that a lot as well. And that sort of you just set the intention of, I love you, but I can't save you.
Yeah.
And I just want to give it back to you. And that's a really beautiful, gentle way of doing it as well, because you're doing it through a loving intention as well.
Yeah, and I think I think what you said just then is, because you're giving the energy or not carrying the energy or the emotion of the person does not mean that you don't love them.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
No. So that's something to be aware of. Just because you're not carrying it does not mean that you don't love them. And if someone guilts you into it, then that's a red flag. Yeah.
Because a lot of people that will, it's happened to us a lot, especially you, where you beautiful heart and you care and you love and everything, but then you have certain energies or people coming in really wanting to take that
and
from
they
you.
will tear me down.
Yeah, and they'll just want to suck up that we call that, that beautiful rainbow light.
Yeah.
It's like, so we have to set boundaries as well and know where, I guess, the red flags are.
Yeah.
There's just some people who, even family members, and siblings and friends that, come for a feed, come suck on your beautiful life force, because that's what they're also there to do, and that's their learning, that's their lesson, and there's no judgment of that.
No.
But then it's up to us to set boundaries and go, well, this person is really not there for our friendship. They're there to harvest and take my energy. So that's not beneficial as well. So homework for the week. You might be surprised if you say the people around you just say what I said before. So sending it back of light and love and counting back from 10 to 0 with the intention, with the right location, frequency and sound. How many people you are carrying? Because I just got shown many people are carrying many people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And how many people are carrying you?
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. So then in that case, if you don't want to carry anyone else's, you don't want people carrying you.
Yeah.
You want to be taking back your own energy. So therefore, you would actually reclaim back your own energy as well.
And I'm getting also that the entanglements attached to that as well.
Oh, you want to get rid of the entanglements, man.
So, because that is causing also entanglements, isn't it? You've got the guilt entanglement. You've got the I'm not good enough entanglement. You've got there's all these cords or lines or fishing hooks into each other, and it's just feeding this energy, which is not beneficial for both parties or any party. So that's a really interesting as well. Oh, geez, we're going down deep in the rabbit hole today, my friends. It's good. It's good stuff to talk, chat, get it out there, because we just want to really share. Hopefully it's helpful and it can help shift people as well. Yeah. That's always our intention. Yeah. So anything we want to say before we...
No, I think I'm pretty good now.
Yeah, I'm glad we did this.
Yeah.
It was an important one. Yeah. And if you got any questions, leave a comment podcast or YouTube, and we'll do our best to answer it. If not, we can do another video on it later.
Yeah.
Podcast on it later. Okay, well, thank you so much for tuning in. We do love and appreciate you. If you get a chance, if you love what we do and you want to subscribe and be part of the Phoenix Awaken, we would love to have you part of the Phoenix Awaken family.
And we will always be here. We'll always be around, and we're always available to answer questions when we can. We can't exactly answer them, when we're sleeping. But we're always around. And until next time.
Love and blessings, everyone.
See you later.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.